students, let us discuss about angular impulse. Before discussing that, let us recall what we know about linear impulse. So, here I am showing a system and there are several forces acting on it. Say the net force is given by F net. Now, the F net can be written as the rate of change of momentum dB by dt, where momentum is the momentum of the system. So, the linear impulse that is acting on this is given by integral f dt, and it will be equal to the change in momentum of the system in a given time t. So, we have to integrate this expression. So, this is the impulse momentum theorem we know, but in case of constant forces, you can take the force net outside of the integral because it is a constant. So, in that case you will get force net into time equals the change in momentum of the object. So, it says that the linear impulse that is delivered to the object is equal to the change in momentum of the same object. So, now let us discuss about angular impulse. Similarly, we have angular momentum defined for any given system. Whatever the change in angular momentum we observe in a given time t, that will be equal to the angular impulse. We say that the angular impulse delivered to such an object or a system is equal to the change in its angular momentum. So, change in angular momentum occurs only when torques are applied. So, in order to analyze this, we should understand what is the torque acting on the system. So, we will calculate the initial angular momentum with the final angular momentum and the torque acting on the system about a given point O, and then we can write the equation integral torque net dt equals the change in angular momentum of the system. So, this term here, this is our angular impulse, and note this point, the torque, the final angular momentum, initial angular momentum, they all must be calculated about the same given point. It may be an interior point or an exterior point. So, in case of constant torques, again the integral torque net dt, it becomes, you can take torque out of the integral. So, torque net into time will give you the change in angular momentum of the system. Let us discuss a scenario where we can understand angular impulse more clearly. Here it is a disc which is placed on a smooth horizontal surface and it is fixed at the center pivot. So, it can rotate about the center, but it cannot slide on the table. Now, a rope is wound around the disc and the rope's end is being pulled with a force F. It is a constant force. We have to calculate the final angular speed after time t. So, our conventional approach is by finding the angular acceleration and then finding angular speed. So, let us start. Torque is given by I alpha. So, if you calculate alpha, the torque acting on this is the perpendicular distance r cross F. So, it is r F by moment of inertia of the disc is mr square by 2. So, this will give you 2F by mr. Now, once you have calculated the angular acceleration, we can find the angular speed, final angular speed using this relation, omega naught plus alpha into time. Omega naught is 0, initially it is at rest. So, omega will be, this is 0, alpha 2f into time by mr. So, this is how you solve the problem, by using kinematics relations. But let us understand the same situation in terms of angular impulse. It is like solving the same problem in a different angle. So, from our impulse momentum theorem, the angular impulse acting on the system is equal to its change in angular momentum. So, whenever there is a constant force, we can use this relation, torque net into time. Here it is angular momentum final minus angular momentum initial. So, let us identify the torque here. There is a torque acting on it anti-clockwise. and the torque can be given by Rf. So let us write it in vectors. It will be Rf k cap. R cross F is pointing outwards. So because of this, it will get angular acceleration and it will speed up and it will get some angular speed after time t. Now we say that for a constant torque into the time is equal to its change in angular momentum. So L final minus L initial. But L final is, let us say it is finally rotating about its center with an angular speed omega. So L final will be I omega, and since the torque is anti-clockwise, it will get angular momentum in anti-clockwise sense. The torque is anti-clockwise, so the final angular momentum will also be anti-clockwise here. Initially it was at rest, it starts to rotate in anti-clockwise sense. So this will be I omega k cap, and L initial is 0. So from this we can write the torque here, it is again Rf into the time equals I omega minus 0. I have eliminated the unit vectors here because they are all plus k cap. Omega here equals Rf t by mr square by 2, which will give you the same result, 2f t by mr. So you get the same result in either ways. Depending on the situation given in the problem, you can go for any approach, whichever you feel comfortable. So let's solve a problem now. Here the question is similar to the question which is discussed already in lecture 4, angular momentum in case of rolling. So we have a solid sphere here which is initially sliding on a smooth horizontal surface, and the linear velocity is given by v naught. It has no angular speed, it is not rotating, it is just sliding on the smooth horizontal surface, and then it moves on to a rough horizontal surface whose coefficient of friction is given by mu. And then what happens, friction acts on this and it starts to rotate, and finally it comes to rolling, pure rolling. So you will find that it is having a different speed v, and it is having some angular speed also, and v will be equal to r omega when it performs pure rolling. So in the earlier question, we were asked to calculate the final speed when it finally performs pure rolling, and we have calculated it already and we got the answer 5/7 of initial velocity. I want you to go through that video. Now here the question is, find the time taken until sphere starts pure rolling from the moment it moved on to the rough surface. So from the instant when it just starts to hit the rough surface and up to the instant when it started pure rolling, we have to calculate the time duration. So let us discuss this problem. Let's see what happens when it moves on to rough surface. Let us say at t equals 0, it is at this location. So even at this moment it is having some linear speed and angular speed will be 0 because it was just sliding. Now what happens, the friction starts to act on this. The final scenario will be something like this at time t. So throughout this time the friction acts on the object and it is kinetic in nature. So we have to make a note of this. As long as sphere is rolling and slipping, So until it starts pure rolling, it will be slipping. The kinetic friction acts on it. And its value will be equal to Fk given by mu mg. So we have already discussed this in the earlier case. The friction acting will be backwards on this, and the friction acts as long as it is rolling and slipping. Once it starts pure rolling, the friction ceases to act. You may take a note of that also. After it starts pure rolling, friction ceases to act. So it's only for a duration of time t the friction acts on it. Now let us solve this problem using angular impulse, and we'll discuss the situation about the center O. So we have to calculate angular momentums about O and also the torque acting on this object about O. This is not the point on the ground, that was a different case. We have calculated angular momentum about a point on the ground and we conserved it in the earlier case, but here we are calculating everything about the center of mass. So let us discuss the situation about center of mass. The torque acting on the system will be clockwise, so it is perpendicular distance r cross f, but f is mu mg minus k cap, because it is a clockwise rotating torque, and the initial angular momentum is 0 and the final angular momentum is, it is rotating clockwise, so it has angular momentum I omega minus I cap pointing inwards. So because the force here is constant, the friction acting on it for this duration, it has produced a constant torque also. So whenever there is constant torque, you can write that value of constant torque into the time taken should be equal to, this is the angular impulse, and it should be equal to the change in angular momentum. Because the torque and final angular momentum and initial angular momentum, everything is calculated clockwise. So the clockwise torque will be equal to clockwise change in angular momentums. So that will be final angular momentum clockwise minus initial angular momentum clockwise. So from this we can calculate the time. So time is equal to, I is 2 by 5 mr square, because it is a solid sphere. And omega we have calculated already using this. So 5 V naught by 7 R by R mu m g. So this will give you 2 V naught by 7 mu g. So that will be the time taken. You should take a note of some important points here. The torque we have used in this equation is only the torque due to friction. We are calculating the torques about O, but there are several forces acting on the object, the gravitational force mg and the normal reaction also, and then the friction. So there are 3 forces acting on it, but about O, the torque produced by the forces is only due to the friction, because mg and normal reaction, they pass through the center all the time. So we are calculating the torques about center of mass. So, we are moving with the center of mass, it is calculated in center of mass frame. So, always the forces N and mg they pass through center of mass and the torque will be 0 due to them. So, that is why we have taken the torque due to the friction alone, and that is why I am writing R into the frictional force as the net torque. Let us discuss another problem now. So, we have an inclined plane here, inclination is given by theta, and 3 objects are left at the top of the inclined plane. So, among a ring, disc and a solid sphere, we have to calculate the final angular velocity and we have to check which one gets the greatest angular speed when they finally reach the bottom of the inclined plane. So, and one important case here is the inclined plane is rough, but the friction is not sufficient to allow pure rolling. So, it will never attain pure rolling in this case. So, it will always be sliding and slipping as well. And in this case, we have to calculate the final angular speed and compare the angular speeds. So, let us solve this problem using angular impulse. This is the free body diagram of the rolling object. It is rolling as well as sliding or slipping. So, at any time t, this is the situation, it will be having some angular speed and it will be moving with some linear speed v. And the forces acting on it are the mg sin theta and we have mg cos theta here. The friction acting on the object is Fk. Now, because it is sliding, the friction acting on it will be kinetic in nature. Because the object is slipping, the friction acting is kinetic, yes. So, Fk is mu mg cos theta, its value will be mu mg cos theta. Now, let us calculate the time which is taken to reach the bottom of the inclined plane first. So, let us calculate linear acceleration. The linear acceleration of the object will be given by, acceleration is net force by m. So, along the inclined plane, parallel to the inclined plane, we have to calculate the net force and we can calculate the acceleration. So, it is the mg sin theta driving it downwards and friction is acting opposite to it. So, mg sin theta minus mu mg cos theta by mass. So, this is the linear acceleration of the object. So, you may notice one thing here, irrespective of the radius of gyration, whether it is a ring, disc or solid sphere, they all have same acceleration, because in this term we nowhere have the moment of inertia term. All have same mass, so they will have same acceleration, which is g sin theta minus mu g cos theta. Now, let us say the length of the inclined plane is L naught. So, the distance it has to travel is L naught equals given by half at square. So, from this time will be equal to 2 L naught by A, which is g sin theta minus mu g cos theta root of it. So, this will be the time taken for the objects to reach the bottom of the inclined plane. Now, let us see the situation in terms of rotation. Now, what happens for the object when we see it in the center of mass frame? About the center of mass, its angular speed is continuously increasing because of the torque due to friction. There are 3 forces acting on this, or 4 you can say. By resolving the weight, we have finally the 4 forces acting on this object, one mg sin theta, the other one mg cos theta, and you have a normal reaction also from the plane and the friction acting on it. But if you calculate about the center of mass, the torque due to normal reaction mg sin theta and mg cos theta will be 0, because they all pass through the center of mass. So, the torque is only due to the kinetic friction which is acting, and it is an anti-clockwise torque. So, identify this, the torque acting on the object about center of mass, this is important, will be only due to the friction, kinetic friction, and it is the perpendicular distance r cross f anti-clockwise sense. So, r into mu mg cos theta k cap. So, this is the torque which is acting on the object about its center of mass, and it is a constant torque, because as long as it is sliding or slipping, it is both rolling and slipping. So, the friction acting will be of same value, the kinetic friction, and it is a constant force. So, we get a constant torque. So, let us see the final case and the initial case. Initially, the angular momentum is 0 about the center of mass, because the object is not rotating, it just started there. So, initial angular momentum about O will be 0, and the final angular momentum, let us say it has finally achieved some angular speed, final omega final, and it is anti-clockwise. So, the final angular momentum is I into omega final, because it is anti-clockwise I am using k cap. So, from our equation, the angular impulse is equal to change in angular momentum. So, about center of mass you can write, because the torque is also constant. So, the torque into the time taken, we have all calculated the time taken, T equals final angular momentum minus initial angular momentum, which is 0. I have calculated torque and angular momentums all anti-clockwise sense. So, I have eliminated the unit vectors. From this, the final angular speed is given by r mu m g cos theta by into T I. So, now we have to find which one gets the greatest angular speed for all the 3 objects, ring, disk and solid sphere. So, if you compare for the 3 objects, all these terms are equal, even the time taken to reach the bottom. So, from this we observe that it is inversely proportional to the moment of inertia of the object. So, the angular speed will be greatest if the moment of inertia is least, and the moment of inertia is least for the solid sphere, it is 2 by 5 m r square. So, omega of the solid sphere will be greatest among the 3.